And finally, our very last app, and this is not a sharing app, this is a classroom management app. To me, this is the game changer in what we do with our iPads, because so often the problem that people would come to me with is that they'd say, my students have the devices, they're playing games on them. What do I do? And my response was, always a little tongue-in-cheek. I'd say, there's an app for that. It's called the 2 Feet and 2 Eyes app. You need to be up and walking around your classroom, and being aware of what the students. If you're sitting back at your desk, then you don't know. The students can be doing anything they want on the iPads, and you wouldn't know. Well, that's all changed now with Apple Classroom. Not that I'm encouraging you to sit back at your desk. That is not. Can I say not 3 or 4 more times, just to let you know that is not what I'm promoting. I still think that classroom management has to be there. You have to be up and out of your seat. You have to be walking around the class, interacting with the kids, looking to see what they're doing. But with Apple Classroom now, with our newer devices, this doesn't work on the old devices that have the I think it only works on the devices that charge with the lightning cables. But Apple Classroom allows you to take control of students' iPads from your iPad. It allows you to see what they're doing on their iPad at all times, and so it's not like that. A kid can't have multiple apps open and just swipe between them when you're coming around, like they could potentially do in the old days before Apple Classroom. So, to me, like I said, this is the game changer. When I heard about Apple Classroom, I was so excited to see it, and it is really, really awesome. You're going to love it. This is going to be great. Okay, I want to show you Apple Classroom, and this is, like I said, the game changer. I have 2 iPads here. The one on the right hand side is my teacher iPad, and on the left hand side is the student iPad. Okay, now students do have to manually join your class. So in the teacher iPad, I open up the Classroom app. It's right here, just Classroom. And you create your classes. So you can create a class. So I'm going to create a new class, and I'm just going to call this my webinar class. And I'm going to click on Done. All right, so I have my webinar class. There's no students in it. Okay, so I'm going to open that up, click on it, and I want to add students. So I'm going to click on Add in my webinar class, and it says Add students to this class. Now I'm going to my student iPad. I'm going to click on the settings, and in the settings I have the Classroom icon. And so you'd have your students go to this Classroom icon in their settings. Again, you do have to have a newer iPad. Mine's about 4 years old. It has a lightning cable, and that's new enough. And so when I'm in that Classroom tab, this says at the very top, a new class invitation. Okay, and it's adding webinar. Remember, I made the name of my class webinar. That's why it says add webinar. So I click on that add webinar, and it asks me for a class code. Now that class code I see right there on that on my teacher iPad. So I would tell my students the class code is 9842, and I can click on the add button, and it says it's waiting for me. On my side, I see that Mark has joined my class, and I'm going to check, it has a check mark, and I click on add. Now I see that Mark is in my class. And okay, so now I'm looking at Mark's iPad. I can pull up Mark's iPad and see exactly what he's doing. I click on view screen, and now on my teacher iPad, and notice a little bit of lag time, I see the student iPad. I can see exactly what they're doing in any app that they go into. So if they go onto the internet, let's say they go to ESPN, but it brings up a Google search, and I see that they're on ESPN right now looking at former NFL running back Larry Johnson believes he is living with CTE, and whatever it is that they're looking at. Okay, and so they can't hide it from you. You get to see exactly what they're doing at all times. Now it gets better. So on my teacher iPad, I'm going to click on Done because I'm done looking at Mark's iPad. Let's say I want to lock the iPads. Let's see, maybe I think that Mark is playing around with hopscotch, and we're doing something in class, and he's on hopscotch. Notice that on my teacher iPad, it shows me what app he's using. So when I'm on my home screen, it shows nothing. I go to hopscotch, it automatically pops up with the H for hopscotch there. But I go to Scratch, and it automatically brings the icon for Scratch there. And I'm in Comics Head, and automatically brings that icon for Comics Head there. And if I switch apps by swiping through them, that's reflected. So as a teacher, I can see exactly what he's on, what Mark is on at all times. And it shows me this for all the students. And in fact, I can see the apps that are open. I see that Comics Head is open, that there's one student in it. And Scratch is open, and there's one student. So if I had students who were in 5 different apps, I would see all those apps along the top there, and I could see who was in each of those apps. Okay, maybe I want to have all my students open up an app. I can have them open up, let's see, their cameras, and I automatically put all the students in that app. And I can click on done, or let's see, I want to lock them in an app after opening it. So I'm going to open up an app for them. I want them all in Animoto. I don't know if I have it installed on the second iPad, so it might have a problem doing it. Yep, it is there. So it went there, and now my student iPad cannot go anywhere else. I'm trying to go to a different app, and it will not let me. I'm locked in there. My teacher locked me in. And so I click on done, and now students can do whatever they want. They can get out of it if they want to. I need to unlock it, actually. So I click on unlock. I'm unlocking the iPads. Okay, it tells me the iPad's unlocked. So now I can go back and do whatever I want as the student. Okay. As well, maybe I just want to lock it down. And I lock down all the iPads. Now you can also do this with just one student if you need to. You can lock down as many students as you need to maybe someone's off task, you lock down their iPad, and bummer, you're locked down. You weren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you can unlock it at any time. Okay, so if I go to the screens button, then I see what each screen is on, what each student is on, and so that will actually show all of my students, and you can see them all there at the same time, which is really neat to see. You can know exactly what each student's doing. Okay, so that is the Apple Classroom app. Like I said, it's the game changer. Now, let me show you what happens when, let's say that Mark, the degenerate student that he is, decides he doesn't want to play that game anymore, and he doesn't want to be a part of this classroom. So I'm tired of Mr. Oaken telling me what to do. So I'm going to remove this class. I'm going to drop out of it. Wow. As a teacher now, I just see that Mark dropped out of my class, and I can say, hey, Mark, what'd you do? You got out of my class. What's going on? And he cannot get back in unless I re-invite him in. Okay, so I can have him put his iPad down, do whatever he needs to do, since he's choosing to try to come in and out of my class. He just can't come in and out at will. It has to be deliberate on my part, and I can see who's in. Okay, so that's the Apple Classroom app. It is amazing, and I'm super excited to see it in action.